Okay, let's just dive right into this, shall we? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to tackle a debate that has honestly exhausted students, professionals, and job seekers for years now. I'm talking about the whole degrees versus skills argument. You know the drill. Major companies are dropping degree requirements left and right, yet traditional fields, they're clinging to them tighter than ever. It's literally no wonder you might feel paralyzed by all the conflicting advice out there. So today, we're going to cut through the noise and build a really clear, practical understanding of how this actually works in today's job market. So which one actually wins? That's the million-dollar question, right? It causes so much loud, honestly paralyzing confusion because people talk about degrees and skills as if they're fierce rivals in a boxing ring, just waiting to knock each other out. But here's the reality we're going to uncover today. That rivalry? It's a complete myth. No way around it. The debate only exists because degrees and skills do entirely different jobs in the market, and we constantly confuse one for the other. To really make sense of this, I want you to picture a physical shop. A degree? That's like the highly visible signboard outside the shop. It tells you exactly what the place is, who it represents, and whether it looks credible from the street. But skills? Well, skills are the actual service happening inside the shop once you walk through those front doors. The signboard gets you to step inside, but the service determines if you actually get what you paid for. I really want you to remember this anchor phrase throughout our explainer today. Degrees signal, skills perform.
Moving on to Section 1, the hidden engine of hiring, what employers actually buy.
To wrap our heads around this, we need to pull back the curtain on the hidden mechanics behind literally every single job offer you will ever see. And here is the profound truth. Employers don't literally buy a piece of paper. And honestly, they don't even really buy raw talent. What they're actually buying is reduced uncertainty. Think about it. When a company hires someone, they're taking a massive risk. It's like a sealed container in your kitchen. You can't see every single ingredient inside, but that factory seal, it gives you a baseline of trust that the contents were handled properly. It's a trust shortcut. At the end of the day, employers are buying confidence and predictability to lower their own hiring risks. And this brilliantly illustrates how the two elements divide the labor. A degree essentially proves you survived a structured system. Think of it kind of like a tested bridge. An employer doesn't just want to know if you can do a job once. They want to know if you're going to keep doing it under pressure over time. So the degree lowers their uncertainty right at the front door. But your skills, the actual mechanism that turns your effort into useful, visible work, those are what lower the employer's uncertainty once you're already inside the building. All right, that brings us to Section 2, overlapping signals, how degrees and skills interact. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can see hiring as fundamentally a filtering problem. It's kind of like sorting fruit at a crowded market by looking for multiple indicators. When we look at how these overlapping signals interact, notice what happens when a degree supports a skill. You get the absolute strongest candidate for trust and performance. It's like a picture and a frame. The skills are the picture and the degrees the frame, holding it completely stable. Now, if you lack a credential, your skills can absolutely substitute, but really only if your output is highly visible. And what if you have a degree but no real practical experience? Well, that credential will substitute to get you the interview, sure, but it probably won't hold up once the real work actually begins. Let's move to Section 3, navigating reality. Context is everything. Let's ground this theory in practical reality for a second. Because the truth is, there's absolutely no universal winner here. The value of a degree or a skill is entirely dependent on context. Let's walk through this matrix. If a job is easy to test before hiring, like say writing code, designing a poster, or editing a video, the employer can literally just see the output. In that case, the skill weight is massive. But what about hidden competence? What about high-risk regulated work like medicine, law, or structural engineering? In those cases, the employer obviously cannot safely test your abilities on the fly. So the degree weight is incredibly high because it acts as a mandatory socially recognized marker of safety and seriousness. You know, this complex reality is especially visible in diverse job markets, like the job market in Pakistan, for example, where the balance feels incredibly mixed. On one hand, you have traditional organizations that absolutely demand formal degrees to filter out the noise of thousands of applicants. But simultaneously, fast-growing digital sectors are practically begging for visible portfolios and immediate delivery, mostly because they just don't have the time to train you. It leaves candidates feeling caught in this brutal tug-of-war between get the degree and build the skill. But the secret here? Both messages are actually right, just for totally different reasons. Which leads us to our final part, Section 4.
choosing your edge, from confusion to strategy.
Okay, it's time for an identity shift, removing you from being a confused job seeker to a strategic player who knows exactly how to read the market. So the crucial point is this: degrees create access and skills create staying power. Let me say that again. Degrees create access and skills create staying power. A degree will open the gate. It gets you into the interview room, gets you taken seriously right at the start, and bypasses those initial filters. But your skills, they're what keep you in the room. They give you the staying power when results matter way more than labels and when the competition gets fierce. You don't have to choose a side. You just have to know which tool to use at which stage.
To apply this to your own life, you don't need generic slogans anymore. You just need to ask these 3 direct questions whenever you evaluate a career path. First, is the work easy to verify immediately, or is it hidden competence? Second, does this specific role reward formal, gate-kept credibility or direct, tangible output? And third, at this stage in the hiring process, is the employer simply filtering a massive pile of resumes, or are they actively testing for performance?
Once you see the job market as a system, you literally can never unsee it. The next time someone tries to drag you into a debate about whether degrees are useless or skills are everything, I want you to step back and ask this final, empowering question. What uncertainty is the employer actually trying to reduce? Answer that, and you'll know exactly how to pitch your value. Every single time. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.